¿Qué onda, vatos? Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again. San Jose, California. Chilly day today. We are taking some measurements over the new audio system setup that we have here. So I'm playing some non-copyrighted music. You guys can see it's lo-fi, of course. We're going to see what the ratings are on the dB meter. If this thing's even worth it. Quite honestly, I've been riding with the speakers on the rear. I have 6x9s back there. I don't know if it's worth it, guys, for the additional weight. You know, I'm talking about the additional weight of the saddlebags and the speaker and, you know, the hard mount and all this other stuff. I'm not quite sure if it's worth the trouble and the money. But let's go ahead and play some tunes. I always take it at rider position. Rider position. For some reason, I don't know what happened. So let's go ahead and raise up the volume. Looks like it ended. So let's wait for the next tune to start up. We are at max. So you guys are seeing it, 112 decibels max. Alright, let me tell you guys, yesterday I actually took some additional readings without the rear speakers. Let me tell you what I got on the audio system. So we're hitting an average of 112 decibels, which is not that great, quite honestly. Alright, if you guys remember my previous setup, I had 4 speakers up here in the front. I was averaging 114 decibels. Alright, my previous setup was 5 1/4 with 4-inch speaker pods. That was a setup up here. We averaged at 114 decibels, which was pretty significantly loud. Right, so with this new setup, we are hitting 112 decibels. And I'm guessing that's a combination of the front and the rear, because yesterday when I took my readings with just the 6.5 speakers, with just these speakers, I was averaging 107 decibels. Now I'm saying ish. I'm gonna add ish to it because I did see the decibel meter sometimes peak up to 109 decibels, depending on the tune, or depending on the tone of the music or the note. For some reason it would peak to 130 decibels, 130 with this setup. Now I do have a 600 watt amp, so I'm guessing I'm pushing out, of course, 150 per channel, right? Is my math correct? 150, 300, yeah, 600. So I'm pushing 150 on each, which would basically be the max with this setup. So like I mentioned yesterday, 107 decibels. I would say that would be the average. I would hold it here, let the bike play, and maybe somewhere like in a minute or 2 minutes, depending on the music, it will peak to 130. And that was just, like I said, a specific note or a specific tune or what it is. I can't really explain it. All right. But you guys saw it, held it here quite a while. Let's see if I could find another music or another song that is not copyrighted, or maybe you know what? I'll mute the video. All right. Unfortunately, I'll just have to mute. I'll just have to mute it. Let's go ahead and start it back up, and let's look for a right song. Alright, let's do this one real quick. Let's go ahead and reset this. Like I said, I'm going to be having the sound muted here. So we're currently playing the song. We're going to hold the max. We're doing it at rider position. Alright, so there you guys have it. You guys saw it on real time. It looks like I bought myself about 2 extra decibels with the rear speakers, the 6x9s. Quite honestly, like I said, it looks like it was on average at 109. Yesterday with just the front speakers, that was on average of 107. But it did sometimes peak into the 109 a couple times. And you guys did notice after a while, I don't know if there's a specific tune or there's a frequency that registers at 133 decibels. I'm not sure what it was. You guys saw it in the video. Hopefully the camera picked it up. But, you know, I just don't think it's worth the trouble, quite honestly, right? I don't think it's worth the trouble. You know, buying them and then installing them and, you know, running the wire, of course, from the front to the back of the saddlebags. I think it probably sounds good to everybody else, but you're not really getting a benefit of you know, having them behind you. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe if you're riding with a half helmet, maybe, you know, maybe with a half helmet, but man, I really don't hear a difference. I don't hear a difference riding, or I don't hear a difference being in the driver's seat or in the rider's seat. I don't really notice a difference, especially when you get up to speed. I mean, this is basically what you're listening to, and like I mentioned, where were we? We were at 109 decibels consistently with my previous setup. With the 5 1/4 and the 4-inch speakers up front, at the rider position or the rider head position, I was averaging 114 decibels average. I just don't think it's. I mean, they look cool, you know. I'll give it that. They look cool. I just don't think they're worth the money and the trouble. I don't know. I'm gonna keep on, I guess, writing this setup, but you know, seeing the results, I don't know if I probably want to just go back to the Leather Pros, having, you know, a little bit more of a narrow back end, because currently with this setup I'm at 36 inches from peak to peak, and I'm not digging the gap. Look at this gap. It's about 3.5 inches between the fender and the saddlebag. I'm just not a huge fan of the way it looks. I don't know. I mean, I'm considering doing a couple things, mounting it a different way so I could just clean it up a little bit more, but I'm just not digging the way it looks. You guys can let me know in the comments. I think having the 4 speakers in the front and then having 114 decibels consistently, you know, that sounded a lot better. These speakers are not that great, these GVC ones. My previous setup was Kicker and Rockford Fosgate. These are not as crystal clear as the Rockford Fosgate. These are, you know, $60 speakers. All right, I give it that. The marine grade. Maybe that's why they sound a little bit muffled or a little bit distorted. But I have a high pass filter on these, so I have it set at, I think I have it at 80 on the frequency. Basically, it filters out all of the low frequency sounds, so it should be, you know, the sound should be it should be crystal clear. It should be crystal clear and loud, because they're louder speakers. They're, you know, they're 1.25 inches louder than, I mean, bigger than my previous setup. But my Rockford Fosgate speakers, yes, they're over $100. But man, they just sound so much better than these JVC speakers. Like I said, these were $60. I think that was with tax. The Rockford Fosgates, they were over $120, $120. So they're basically twice the price, but they did sound a whole lot better. Like I said, they sound really clean, really clean. These don't sound that great at max or anywhere near max. As far as the 6x9s, like I said, I can't really hear a difference. I don't know. I mean, I think as far as playing your music loud, that's where you'll probably see where these kind of come in. But once you start getting up to speed, you're in the, you know, in 40 miles per hour, and, you know, we're talking about freeway, highway speeds. You really don't hear these rear speakers. I just don't think it's worth doing all this mess, and especially considering some of the options that are out there. I've seen a few options where you can actually cut out your own bags, and those are like $300. I just don't think it's worth the 300 plus the amp plus the 6x9s. Or maybe I gotta try something else. These are also 2-in-1 speakers. These are 6x9s with 2 tweeters inside of them. I think I have a 2-inch and a 1-inch tweeter in there. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Is it worth it? They look good. The hard saddlebags are painted. That's also a plus. If you have a custom paint, or if you want to match everything, I guess, then, you know, that would be a benefit, having the bags matching the rest of the paint job. But man, I just don't think. I don't know. Like I said, I think I've added a good amount of weight with the saddlebags. The bike does feel different. It handles different. I think with the saddlebags, I made videos on all of this stuff, but I think I'm somewhere around 40 to 50 pounds of additional weight with these saddlebags. You know, we're probably pushing 50 pounds because the bike does feel completely different. The Leather Pros are also heavy. All right, I'm not gonna say that the Leather Pros are lighter. They are 20 pounds a piece when they're empty, so they are heavier. But I mean, there's also other options out there. So I don't know. I'm not that impressed. And I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I should just go back to the old setup with the 4 speakers up front, and then maybe I'll add another amp, so I could have 6 speakers total, 2 up here and then the 2 back here. That way I'll average 114 from here, and then who knows, maybe the rear setup will probably give me an extra 1 or 2 decibels. Maybe that's the next video, seeing how much sound can I peak at with the 6 speaker setup. So you guys saw it here. There's the proof decibel meter, 132 with the specific note, with the very specific note. There's just something in a song. There's a specific note and a frequency that gets us to peak 132, 133 decibels. But technically, on average, we're doing 109. Was that right? Or 100 and what? Yeah, I think on average it was 109. So, life's a risk. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching yet another video. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.